Hello, everyone. I just wanted to make a disclaimer before we start talking about Katseye. I did not create or curate specific Katseye centered or focused background clips for these videos. I just don't have time. There's no other reason. I just don't have enough time to do so or the storage to do so. So, you're going to get reused clips, and I apologize, but this video is very last minute, and I just wanted to have a say in this discourse. So yeah, so let's actually start discussing Katseye and their discography. So first things first, I want to talk about my opinion about the song. And first thing I want to say is that they're incredible performers. They know how to elevate any song that they perform. It's just, they are incredibly gifted and they're incredibly talented. That being said, I do believe that because I've not heard an official version of Internet Girl, I think creating a think piece on the song itself would not do it justice, because we've not heard all the technical, all the vocal elements, and all the things that go into the song. Because what if they're holding back on a specific element just to give us a taste of it, but there's more, right? I don't want to make a think piece on the song until it officially releases. So, I want to hold off on that. However, I do want to talk about the discourse around Katseye. So Internet Girl has a very quirky vibe, whether that be the choreography, the production, the lyricism. It's very, again, it's very quirky. And I see the discussion going two ways. One way being that the girls are too vocally talented to be stuck doing songs like this. And the other side saying that maybe they want to create or go into this direction, and we should respect where the artists themselves wants to take their art. And I've seen this discourse, right, surround Internet Girl, and I think this leads to a greater discussion on Katseye's discography in general. So let's talk about the fact that they have 2 EPs. Each EP has 5 songs, and in total, they have 10 songs. Not including their OSTs or even collab songs, or not even the Monster High collaboration. Specifically for the group themselves, they have 10 songs. And I think a reason why there is a lot more discourse around their discography is that the comebacks are there's a lot of distance in time between each comeback. If we were to talk about this in a traditional K-pop structure, the girls technically were supposed to come back with a new EP or a full album by now, in this time of year, because the EP came out in June, right? And knowing that you're only getting 5 songs at a time, and some of them not even being 3-minute songs, I think that creates a level of tension. I remember before Beautiful Chaos came out, that these girls had 5 songs to their name, and I noticed that these girls were performing the same 5 songs over a span of, I don't know, maybe 7 8 months before, maybe even more than that, maybe even less. I did not count, but I did notice that the girls were performing a lot in between the release dates of their first EP and Beautiful Chaos. And I think because they were performing the same 5 songs, I think that genuinely started to, maybe that even started to tire the members out themselves, and as well as the audience. So when, Beautiful Chaos came onto the scene, there was 5 more songs that the girls were able to perform and be able to show their artistry. when Gnarly came onto the scene, the thing about Gnarly was that the lyrics, again, the lyrics were controversial, the choreography was controversial, it was just controversial overall. And I think at that point, with the fandom, it had been such a long time since the girls had released music that having Gnarly be kind of like the reintroduction into their future and their music, for a lot of Katseye stands, that was not like what they wanted or what they envisioned, right? Because knowing that the girls can sing so well and, not being able to witness that in their discography might put some people off. And, again, we all have different perceptions of where our favorite artists should take their musical direction and how they should perceive or maybe take the next step in terms of exploring their artistry. Gnarly had its controversial moment, and then came Gabriella. And Gabriella kind of finally showed off what Laura and Sophia could really, really do. And the girls had an incredible moment to be able to show what they were able to do vocally. Now, I want to fast forward to now, where the girls have 10 songs, excluding their OSTs, to their name. And again, all of these songs, MIA, Mean Girls, Game Boy, Gnarly, Gabriella, have become insanely popular. And because they only have like 5 songs that are new, of course people are going to stream it over and over again, and eventually people are going to get tired and they want new music, because at the end of the day, there's only 5 songs, right? So I think because Katseye comes out with music in such large gaps, I do believe it creates a level of anticipation and even impatience in the fandom to see what comes next. Because you see the girls perform their songs so well and how incredibly talented they are, that you just want more. So when songs like Internet Girl come to light and they are performed, it might break someone's illusion, because seeing how, vocally talented the girls are, it might feel like you're being robbed of it as a fan, and you're not being able to experience that. Now, there is the other argument of, if the girls enjoy this direction that their music is going in, we have to respect that, and we have to let them do what they want as artists. And I completely agree with that, actually. And it's fair for fans to have a vision of what they want to see their artists do next, but the artist also has rights. Actually, they have the complete right to take the art that they are producing in a direction that they want. And it seems that the members really do like this song. And I completely respect that, because they are the artists and they have a different relationship to Internet Girl than we will, because, again, art is perceived differently, but also because it's their child. They help to create that, right? Whether that be, even if they did not have writing credits behind that song, they helped to perform it, to bring it to life. So naturally, it makes sense that they have a different relationship to Internet Girl than we will, right? So, going back to fans having a different perception, or maybe a different vision of what the artist should do, again, that's very valid, because, again, having this kind of discourse only improves music even more. it only helps to create a deeper understanding and a deeper relationship to the art that you want to consume. Even if you're not the one creating it, you'll start to kind of like, it's almost like a personal reflection of how you like to see art. So that's very valid. But of course, when it comes to not seeing the vision of the artist that you like, I suggest to, wait it out and see the direction that they want to take. But also, if you have sat there for the ride and you realize that your visions do not match, you essentially should move on to another artist, right? But that's not what I'm trying to advocate for Katseye, because they are so new that I'm not out here going to be like, well, just stop listening to Katseye. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, you have free will, but what I'm saying is that, like, I'm saying, like, you should give them time. They only have 10 songs, and seeing how distant Hype is with like giving them EPs or even albums in general, like seeing how like much distance there is, I don't want to tell people to be like, stop listening to Katseye. Like, no, they're very new to the music scene. Like, I know Katseye as a group is 2 years old, but they've been producing and creating like EPs and like albums. They just debuted last year musically on the scene. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to give them time because they are new artists, right? I want to let them grow because I do not want to run into another NMIX situation where we all say like, oh, like NMIX is so talented, but they don't have good songs. Like, I do not want to run into another situation like that, especially with a group that is like as new as Katseye, because they're so talented, and I don't want them to be just recognized for their performance skills, but also having a killer discography. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see these girls win. I want to see them be able to belt like crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see all that, right? So what I'm saying is, like, I don't want to run into another NMIX situation, because when these girls create music that fits their identities as artists, and they have found their own, because I wouldn't be surprised if they're still like figuring out concepts for the girls, because again, they're new. They're probably trying to figure out a conceptual identity for the girls. Maybe that's what these 2 EPs are for, and the next one, maybe it's going to be a full album, I don't know, will have a very strong sonic identity, and these 2 albums were just here to test out the waters, and that's completely fine. And maybe Internet Girl is just like another stepping stone into something greater, and I'm pretty sure it is. So I guess my entire like thesis, or my entire conclusion, or my entire point is that I truly do believe that Katseye's discography is way too small to be written off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too small, in my opinion, to be written off as I don't know. Like, of course you can criticize its current state. That's completely fair, right? Because if we don't criticize, we don't actually help further the creation process of your favorite groups, your favorite singers, your favorite idols. What I want to put forth onto this table of discussion is that I do believe we should hold the discussion around Katseye, or for any artists of that matter, with nuance. While regarding its flaws, you can also be hopeful. Because I do believe that with today's discourse of just about anything, we often find ourselves in polarization, and I don't want to find Catseye's discography itself in a state of polarization, because it could lead to a lot of mischaracterization and even their entire discography to be written off entirely, because we need to have nuanced conversations around your discography. Because I'm worried that we might end up having an NMIX situation all over again, where even in 2024 and 2025, people were still saying that the girls are talented, but their discography is not good. Because, again, I don't want Katseye to, I don't want these girls to be written off. And I guess what I want to say is I want to give these girls time. I want to give them the room to grow, because we're getting small amounts of music every time, and I want to be able to see their journey. And for right now, it's a mixed bag for me, but I do believe that their discography is not the end of the world, but I do believe it could be significantly better. I am not advocating for no discourse and no debate whatsoever. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we should have discourse. I think we should have conversations around music and, discussions about songs that we don't like, right? I have critiqued music myself, right? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that we should also be kind of aware if we are being polarized to a point where the discussion is only two-sided, where one side believes that the music is incredibly bad and there is no hope, or the other side being everything is great, there's nothing to worry about, the music is perfect. I don't want there to be two sides where you cannot see eye to eye. I do believe having nuance within and grays within a discussion where it's just completely black and white is so important. And I think empathy and respect are very important factors when it comes to music discourse and just discourse in general. I think when you have empathy for the artists and empathy for the people around you who are having discourse about a specific song, I think that will go a long way, because you'll be able to understand the different perspectives someone has about a song, but you'll also understand where the author, not the author, but the artist is coming from, And Katseye has a long way to go as artists, because we have yet to see the girls have their own writing credits on their music, having their own production credits on their music. And I think it's so exciting to see their future unfold. And, while we have this discourse, I think it's important to remain empathetic and respectful, but also to understand that when we find that balance and we find a level of nuance, we'll be able to hold the artists as people. And again, no one deserves to be held in a state of polarization, and I think it's so important to understand that art is a journey, and we have to wait to see where that journey will take us. And I think Katseye aims to take us on a journey to their musical identity. And I feel that even if we criticize Katseye's music, I do believe that we should have discourse that aims to not polarize the girls to an extent where their image and their musical identity will be mischaracterized.